Half a day. I'm Ann Marie Pelobello with the Guam Contractors Association. Today we'll be talking about safety, OSHA on site, how the companies can be in compliance, and also provide a safe and healthful workplace. I have with me today a wonderful man, Mr. Anthony Anderson. He is the Guam OnSite Consultation Project Manager. Mr. Anderson, half a day and
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. I'm really excited to be talking about the OSHA's on-site consultation program. I think this is probably the first time that we've done this sort of thing.
yes, and we'll continue to do it pretty much every quarter, just to
Great.
remind everybody, small businesses. So, what type of services do you offer? How can you help the small businesses?
Well, just a little background. First of all, OSHA's consultation program is active in all 50 states as well as the territories, including Guam, Saipan, and American Samoa. But the whole intent of OSHA's consultation program is to provide assistance to small business employers in specifically high hazard industries.
Okay.
And for the most part, the reason why it's so is because most of the small employers don't have the necessary resources to hire a professional consultation person as far as safety goes. So, this is the sort of way that OSHA provides an extension to providing safety in the workplace for America's workers.
So, when you say high hazards, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Let's, just for some of them, they don't understand what high hazards mean.
Well, OSHA does have a list of high hazard industries, and it's rather extensive. But for the first and foremost, construction in particular is a high hazard industry, but so is manufacturing, and that includes concrete manufacturing as well as food processing.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we think of high hazard, a lot of us here locally, we always think construction, but that's not necessarily the case.
Right. So general industry too as well.
Right.
So not only are you able to help small businesses in the construction industry, but also in the general industry.
Exactly.
Awesome. If anyone was having a situation and want a company, an employer, and wanting to be in compliance, and yes, they probably have a corporate safety, or maybe like you say, sometimes they cannot afford to bring one on or to hire one, but they'll have a safety on site. And to help fulfill that they are in compliance, and also to ensure that they have their proper safety and health programs, proper trainings, anything that they will do to provide a safe and healthful workplace. How would they contact you? Can they just call you or stop by your office, or do you just stop by?
Well, we're available, through even email. We have an email address. I'm sure you can share that with the viewers
Yes,
here.
we will.
We also have our telephone number, contact number. We also do on-site visits through visiting this work site. But with our program, a lot of the small businesses that we entertain generally may not have an effective safety and health program in place. In fact, part of our intent is to focus on some of those that actually are lacking quite a bit of that. And what we're talking about here is typically organizations that have less than 250 employees on a job site. So it's rather restrictive in that sense. But nonetheless, we can also get our visits or contact employers via word of mouth, employer to employer. Sometimes we might get a referral, and that's how we get into contact with our clientele. So, there's a variety of ways you could get a hold of us again, and we're experimenting with social media.
Good job.
So yeah, so those of us that, contact the Guam Contractors Association via Facebook, they can also get that information back to us so that we can see how we can further help the employers out here in Guam.
Awesome. And also, like myself, as one of the safety professionals, in order to, especially in the safety industry and as a safety professional, we want to connect and combine and in our resources all together to help improve our island, our people, our assets, because it's the employees that actually helps get the job done or actually does the work. So the employer's concern is they want to ensure that, can you come and help me? Can you double check if I have a safe and healthy workplace? Is there anything I'm missing? What do I need to do? And then with yours, OSHA consultation going out and helping the employers, I see a lot of improvements too, you know?
Yeah, well, I'd like to say that, Guam has really taken great strides forward in improving safety and health, and whether that be in construction or the general industry, at our hotels, everywhere we look, I see improvement.
Yes.
And that's because of the outreach, that's because of the big emphasis, and that's because of the community efforts,
Yes.
like you say, organizations such as the Guam Contractors
Yes.
Association that has gotten involved. And safety now is taking a holistic view that it's everybody's business.
Yes, responsibility too.
Yeah, exactly. And, we find that we can help employers most by actually visiting their job site, providing that sort of third set of eyes, if
Yes.
you will, or second set of eyes, helping them identify hazards and make corrective action. So there's again, I'd like to say that, especially here on island, I've been in this business for probably 30 years, and I've seen significant improvement. I mean, there was a time when you would drive by a particular construction site and you wouldn't even see guardrail systems or any sort of fall protection in place. Now we have employers that automatically place guardrail systems up or use alternative fall protection.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. Is there a cost to?
One thing about our program is there is no cost. It's a free service. And there is no requirement for employers to, fill out certain forms and go through a very tedious regimen. The only thing is that we insist that where we identify hazards, that the employer make corrective action.
Good job.
Yeah, and it's a benefit to everybody, because it's no secret that safety does pay.
Yeah.
And you can see that through direct and indirect costs in terms of workers' compensation, direct, medical care to that injured person. So direct safety does pay.
Pays to make sure that the profit in the business is increased, the injuries and accidents is decreased, or even we all want to have zero at the end of the year and constant. And thank you for your help. And also, do you also offer trainings, right?
We do.
At no cost.
Again, all this follows in line with what we call the initial request for a visit. Once we're contacted by an employer and we go in to assist them, we go through the regular opening conference, a discussion with employee participation. It's very important that we include those fundamental parts of what we feel is an effective safety and health program, and that means management commitment, employee participation, hazard analysis, and then of course training, controls and training. So, again, just getting back to the whole idea of working with the people involved and assuring safety, it's a broad systematic approach.
And it takes each and every one of us to
It
work
requires
together.
everybody. It's not a single person's responsibility. It requires the entire group effort.
Yes. Building a safety culture within the company and within our community.
And I think that we've done a rather well job as far as that goes, especially with the help of the Guam Contractors Association.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Anderson, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
I mean, I know you're a busy man. Thank you for making the time to be here. And, most especially, we want to thank you guys. Thank you all for watching our GCA podcast. I also want to remind you, if you have any small businesses, if you have any concerns or questions in regards of safety and health, or just to verify if you're in compliance, please give either the Guam Contractors Association a call. We can connect you to the Guam OSHA OnSite Consultation, and they'll be glad to help you. So in the meantime, again, Happy New Year. Have a great week, and adios.